Yeah, for me, it all started over a decade ago when I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and I've been on a whole host of drugs to help me treat that, and that's just been going more and more drugs every time I go see the GP, until eventually I decided I need a new approach. So I wanted to get more involved in the physical activity, the diet and so on, and that's where at first I started with some of the basic chair exercises which you introduced me to. So with the chair exercises, it was just a gentle nudge into physical exercise for me, and by meeting other people and learning about how they've handled things, I learned from them, and also I got into a few other walking groups, and it just grew from there. And then as part of that, I also had some help in finding an accessible gym. So what I found was a lot of the gymnasiums around the area were not very accessible because of lighting, the colour of equipment, and stairs and so on, which I struggle with because of the eyesight issues. So I had some help in finding a suitable gym, and eventually I settled at this gym here at the Abraham Mosque Centre. Loads of gyms, I'd tried a lot of different things and nothing seemed to work, and those issues with everything, so it wasn't easy, but then I stuck with it. And I think the one thing that held everything together was the basic chair exercises with Louise in the Welcome Centre, because that was one fixed thing. Everything else was variable that I was working on, and eventually, as I got more and more into the gym, then I also managed to change my eating, my diet, and by talking to Chris at the Welcome Centre, and he gave me a lot of helpful tips and advice about diet and nutrition. So all these things, they came together to help me with treating my diabetes. So I got to the stage eventually where my HP sugar levels, they came from the high 80s to around about 30, which is classed as normal. So anything below 50 is normal. And now I no longer take any diabetes medication. I've not taken for the last 3 months, and the doctors are saying I'm post-diabetic now, which is not that common. A lot of people are pre-diabetic or diabetic. Post-diabetic is quite rare, and I've managed to achieve that with the help of people in the community and all the exercise, the advice and so on. Yeah, I've learned a lot. I've met a lot of people, learnt from them. They've inspired me, I've inspired them, and so it's just been like a give and take. I've got a lot out of it, and hopefully the other people I've met along the way, they've got something out of it by seeing that if I can do it, they can. And that determination hopefully will rub off on other people, and they too will be able to achieve some of the things that I've managed to achieve. And that journey for me, it's continuing, because more recently I've started to get involved with playing cricket and baseball, and I've started playing with the Lancashire Lions, which is a separate group, but that's something that, a new venture that I've started, and I'm hopeful that that will go quite well as well. Yeah, I think the most important skill is that confidence. Before, I lacked the confidence to be able to go out and do stuff, and all this journey, it's given me a lot of confidence. Now I'm not afraid to try new things, and even if I don't like the activity or it doesn't work out, I mean, for example, along the way there was some martial arts classes that I attended, and with those I went to a few sessions, but martial arts wasn't my thing. But it was a good way of trying something, failing at it, and moving on to something else. So it wasn't really a failure, it was more of a learning experience, ruling out, something. Okay, I think with the classes, the first thing for me was that I'd met you at the mosque about a year and a half earlier, and there was a session where I think it was yourself and I think it was Kathy who did a talk relating to physical exercise and so on, and some of these projects within the community. At that time, physical exercise was not on my agenda, but I did attend, and for me at that time, the issues were my sight loss and dealing with all the psychological, the depression and so on that I was going through because I'd lost a significant proportion of my eyesight. And that's why I was at that session, and I remember standing up and speaking up about how sight loss has impacted me, my ability to work and so on. And that's where you took my phone number, and I think we did speak on the phone a couple of times around about that time, but because there wasn't much happening that was suitable for my needs, you never contacted me, I never chased it up or anything. And a year and a half later, just out of the blue one day, you phoned me, and I was surprised actually to get that phone call, because it was at a bit of a low point for me, but just getting that call and asking me to come along to one of these sessions was the starting point. And I've never looked back, because at the time when you phoned me, I used to take what's it called, Prozac. Prozac. That was the antidepressant I was on. Prior to that, I was on something called citalopram, and these were antidepressants that my GP had prescribed that I used to take to help me with my mood and keeping myself stable. Now, the medication was okay, but the problem was it made me feel weak, tired, unable to do much. I would just sit there, and the way I would describe it is I felt like a vegetable sat there doing nothing. And that's what the medication did to me. It destroyed me. But then once I started this journey of exercise and eating healthily, then I came off the medication, and the confidence that I've gained through all this, now I don't need no medication. The next, it's difficult to say because I try not to look too far into the future, much more than about a week or two. But I mean, one of the things that I am looking at is, because I've started the cricket group, and the first match that I'll be playing is going to be this Sunday in Durham. And I've only previously done a couple of training sessions, so I've not actually played in a match. And the last time they had a match at Yorkshire, I was on the subs bench, so I didn't actually get to play, but I got to meet the team and talk to a lot of great people. So that was good. But this time, one of the main players, he's unable to attend, therefore I'm having to step up and join the first team. So I will be playing this Sunday. Yeah, and I did actually do a YouTube search the other day, because I personally didn't think visually impaired cricket was a big thing. I didn't know about it, and when I looked it up, I've realised that there's actually quite a number of teams across the world who play cricket visually impaired people, and some of the things that I've seen them do, even to me, they seem very difficult, and it seems surprising how somebody without any sight could hit the ball the way they do. But it's something to aim for, and I've got the confidence to be able to do it, and I'm just going to stick with it for the moment, keep going and see how far I can get. And one of the players in the team, I know he has played on some of the international tournaments as well, so hopefully I'll be able to get to that level. And I think with a lot of the stuff that I've done, see, one thing that I've learned is when it comes to physical, mental health, the most important things are things like what you do with your body, how you exercise it, how you train it, but then it's also about the fuel that you put in. See, what you find is a lot of people, they'll buy a big flash car and they'll put premium fuel in there, and they will do that religiously. But when it comes to their own bodies, which are probably much more valuable than a Bentley or a Rolls Royce, yet the fuel that they put in there is crap. And it's surprising how people do that. Yeah, so yeah, people do need to eat better, exercise, and all these things make a difference. And I think even for me, sight loss, it will progress, it will get worse, which is what the doctors say. However, I know as long as I can keep up with eating healthy, exercising, and keep going, then hopefully the speed with which it progresses will reduce. But even if it doesn't, because I've seen what others who are in a worse situation from a sight perspective than I am, and they're able to do things that even I find amazing. So I've got them as my mentors, teachers, and it's nothing to be afraid of.